Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back. I'm excited for you to join me today so we can talk about my usability and my reflection with creating a usability survey and kind of site testing um, the transition curriculum that I was implementing in my last video. To give you a little bit of background, where we left off, I created a start here or a syllabus, the overview, and then modules 1 and 2. I've since taken them from the Google Docs and put them into a OneNote that some of the staff and students I'll be working with will use. So to give you a little background, to date, I've had, I think, 3 staff and 3 students complete the survey. And they have provided responses. We're going to go over that, what it looks like, a little bit of my method and design behind it, and what I've learned and kind of the impact it's had on the transition curriculum. To give you some behind the scenes feedback too, I asked each of these 6 people to kind of, try and spend a minimum of 45 minutes on this. Just really give it their all. And provide any harsh criticisms that they may have so that it can be improved upon. Let's go ahead and share my screen. If you look over here on my screen, you'll see my transition curriculum usability and feedback form. I did this in Microsoft Forms. It's what my district uses, and I felt that it would be easiest to use. You can see I have 6 responses up here, and we'll get to that in a second and what that looks like. But to go through, basically, I gave some quick instructions and went over the objectives of the survey. Users will provide feedback regarding the ease of use, the formatting, and any kind of future improvements that they may have, any criticisms they may have. I did ask them that all students had 60-minute periods, so I asked the staff to not go over 60 minutes, but I also asked them to spend a minimum of 45 minutes on this exploration process. So real quick, a little bit behind my questions and what I've learned. I was able to get 3 teachers, an 11th, a 12th, and a post-grad teacher to complete my survey, and then 3 of our work study students, special ed students who have been exposed to some of this work before, but were able to work in one of their free periods on the curriculum. I felt that they were important because the work study students have a transition mindset because some of them are doing an internship or out to paid work. But the staff members are the ones that are going to be utilizing this next year when we begin to implement the portfolio project. As we go through, you'll see that using OneNote was beneficial for the students because they had used that before. But I believe that using a form like Microsoft Forms was pretty straightforward. My questions consisted of 30 questions. And while I felt that was lengthy, it was a mix of ratings, multiple choice, and text answers that they could answer. If you take a look at it, some of it's broken into the Start Here section. There's some questions, the Module 1 section with some questions, and then it goes into Module 2, and then it asks for a little bit of an overall of how it helps students or staff with rating their goals in the areas of post-secondary education, employment, and independent living. And then an important component to me was asking whether or not students and staff felt they would use this again, because that was one of my early objectives for the transition portfolio proposal. But then, I give everyone another chance at the end to just provide any feedback or questions. I felt this was helpful. What did I learn from this? Interesting stuff. Really like what kind of thought I put into my usability testing was really things that applied to my site. However, looking back, if I had to redo this, I probably would ask some questions about what browser they used. Some of the feedback that I got was that one of the links didn't work. A student had to use Firefox, and I didn't specify any of that. So moving forward, just to limit some of the errors that students and staff might have, I think really trying to iron out some of those and get that feedback about what browser and some of the technological input that may have been helpful. Were you doing this on a mobile device? That was another big one. Some of my student responses, you could tell that they were spelling on a mobile device, whereas I think the staff is much more likely to connect to a smartboard and share via a laptop. So those were some questions that if I had to do it again, I definitely would have changed. Like you said, what have I done to address the usability issues that I got in the testing? Things like browsers, I try to specify to use Firefox. Some of them, even just specifying the amount of time to spend on the usability testing, that was a big thing, and putting the objectives in there. I felt that was important. So those were some things that I've learned, and I would say were takeaways too, because I think as specific as you can get, you also want to leave things broad so that people give their own input. Sometimes I felt like when I honed in on module 1 or module 2, it began to get repetitive. By module 2, the answers became a little bit more short-sighted and not as clear. So if I show you that right now, here's some of the data that I did get, and I'll be posting the Excel spreadsheet to my website. But it was nice because it broke down student, teacher, the grade level, their responses for when they've last used this and when they were on. There were some interesting things, like here was some great feedback. I like the course map. It's nice to know what's coming. I liked it, but it seems to have lost of this besides the course map. That's helpful. Oh, this was on the start here, that they have lots of this info. This was helpful for assignments. I thought that a lot of the input that students and staff gave me, whoever it was, this was randomized, but whoever it was pretty nice. Easy to use, but career version survey link did not work for me. Needed to fix. That was a great example of something that I went and looked at, touch base with the student, and I believe in that case it was actually their computer that is why it didn't work, but always helpful. It was nice to go through and see some of the responses. I did see down here that 4.5 average rating for setting employment, where over post-secondary education. I found that interesting because I feel like we did focus more on employment, but again, I think the more responses I get, the better details and input that I'll receive. So I would say overall, this testing has demonstrated that really the course meets the needs in terms of career readiness and exploration and getting ready. I would love to see more of a focus on entrepreneurship and a desire to use the resources and the career portfolio again. However, we're early on in this, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to keep going. Additionally, I think that overall, what was set up and the structure that had been set up supports learners, but creating open communication, and now with our digital world, like even creating a Teams link or a Teams chat or having a class chat where students can go. Like when I think about our course, we have the Smartboard or the Blackboard discussions, but in addition, we have the Facebook group where we can bounce ideas off of each other and talk to each other. And I think that's a vital component to any curriculum. So that's one part that I think I would like to add, some kind of chat feature or like chat room where students could get together and talk about their projects. Guys, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Please take a look at some of the supporting documents below, and then I've also included the previous projects. Thanks for joining me. Leave any comments, like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.